Hello, my name is Nathan, your friendly neighborhood trance worker, and welcome to day 5 in our 22 Days of Trance Work series, which is adapted from our Akashic Trancework initiation program. I'm so happy that you decided to join us today for this lesson because today we are talking about the practice of centering. A lot of people talk about grounding, but I found not as many people talk about centering. Centering is very, very important. Centering is the most important safety measure that we can take as we begin to explore the higher astral realms. Welcome. We're just here talking about centering. Centering is the quintessential practice that takes us within. It takes us to that place within where we can be fully ourselves, free of conditions, free of judgment, free of our responsibilities, our external responsibilities. It's a bit like our inner home, our inner safe space. And we sometimes, in Akashic Trancework, call it a safe space. It's not a place to escape to. It's a place of rest, of respite. It's a little bit like your home or your bedroom, that private place where you can go to recharge. But unlike those places, this astral heart space, this inner heart space, cannot be taken from you. No matter what your external conditions, no matter what happens to your home, to your body, that heart space is always there. So there's a lot of value to this practice that goes beyond that simple need for rest and relaxation. Heart centering is very important because what it allows us to do is activate those feel-good hormones, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, because when we go within, when we focus on our hearts and bring in those things that make us feel joy, gratitude, happiness, love, hi Jesse, we are able to sink into that vibration, that feeling, that energy that is right there at the center of our being. And that is what we all need to do if we want to explore these higher astral spaces. Doing trance work, we need to learn how to center. So why do we care about this? Why does it matter from a trance work perspective? While in trance work, we do a lot of exploration of the higher astral realms. We explore a lot of spaces that sometimes might feel a little bit uncomfortable. We're being very honest with ourselves in trance work. We're really facing down our inner demons. We do a lot of shadow work in trance work. We also explore past lives, ancestral connections, higher spiritual realms. So we need to have a place to come back to after we go to those places. We also need a space where we can process some of our inner stuff safely, gently, and compassionately. So, how do we center? Well, there are a lot of different ways that we can do this, and it primarily comes down to focusing on the heart, the physical heart, as well as the spiritual heart. Hi, Hollis. So when we want to focus on the heart, one of the best ways we can do this is very simply to just breathe, relax, feel our heartbeats, and start to think about things that make us feel happy, that make us feel joy, that make us feel grateful. Centering is not always easy. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it can be a challenge. But regardless, it is that basic practice that with time, with effort, will take you from any state of consciousness to that center at any time. There's an organization called HeartMath, and HeartMath has done a lot of work in this area of studying what they call coherence states. These coherent states represent a balance between heart and brain, where we are acting in balance, in harmony with ourselves, our inner states, and everyone and everything around us. As most of you know, as most of you can sense the heart energy of another person. Even someone who's 1,000 miles away, your heart can sense their energy. So when you tap into this heart center, you're not only tapping into your own awareness, you're tapping into a deep level connection with all beings on earth. So this centering practice serves many purposes. It can help you relax. It can help you achieve flow states so that you can function, so you can perform optimally whatever your role or job is on the earth. It also allows us, again, to have a safe place to come back to as we do trance work, as we explore the higher astral realms. Another aspect of centering that I find very important is that it gives us a place of truth within, a place of non-judgment, a place where we can just honestly, authentically look at our thoughts and feelings and experiences and see them with a level of compassion that might be more difficult when we're in that higher conscious place, that conscious mind place. This is a place of love, of compassion, of unconditional love. Now, sometimes people get a little bit of a reaction when they use that term, unconditional love. Well, what I'm talking about in this context is having unconditional love for yourself. I'm talking about what I sometimes call radical self-love, which means accepting yourself wholly and completely, no matter what. It doesn't mean that you don't need to be accountable for what you've done and for your energy and for your words and actions, but it does give you a place where you can find understanding and forgiveness and begin to understand why you've behaved in certain ways, or why you've experienced certain ways, or why you feel certain ways. The answer to that is because of the conditioning, because of the experiences that you've had in your life and other lifetimes and ancestrally. All of those things form the conditions that inform our personalities. They create our beings in many ways. So this heart centering, this practice of nurturing these coherent states really allows us to move into that place where we can begin to rewrite, to rewire our consciousness towards a place of greater thriving, not out of judgment, not out of self-criticism, but out of self-love, because we want to nourish and support ourselves in the same way that we would nourish and support a child that we loved, our own child, or someone else's that we cared for. We need to treat ourselves with that same level of reverence, of love, of protection, of encouragement. And that's the place to do it. A lot of times we do our inner child work in that heart space, in that heart center. So the way that we do this practice is essentially by imagining ourselves, by visualizing ourselves in a living, growing, thriving green place. A place of love, a place of joy, a place of life, a place of vibrant energy. You know, the heart center's color is green, right? If you know about the chakras, the heart center is a green vibration, and that's because it's a place of life. Living, thriving, growing life. So usually when I encourage people to go into a place of centering, to go into their heart spaces, I encourage them to think of a place that will make them feel like they're surrounded by life, lots of growing things, lots of water. For many people, they might imagine themselves at a beach, or they might imagine themselves in a cabin in the mountains. Some people don't like to do that kind of visualization. They might just feel like they're floating. It doesn't really matter what you see as much as how you feel. The associations, the ideas, the feelings that you bring in, though, will build that space. This is a space that we have to cultivate. We have to invest time and energy into. And the more often that we go there, even if it's just 5 seconds a day, the more often that we go to that centered place, the stronger it becomes, the stronger our center becomes. And we'll be doing this enough, we can be like the eye in the storm. And no matter what's happening around us, we will always be centered, collected, compassionate, calm. Now, again, centering is not always easy, especially if you're in a highly elevated state, if you're experiencing a lot of fear, if you're experiencing a lot of anxiety or something like that. It can be hard to center. I don't want to take that away. I don't want to take that understanding away from anyone who struggles with this. But anyone can center. Anyone has that capability of finding their center, whether it's about visualizing something or whether it's just about listening to the heartbeat and thinking of some things that make us feel gratitude. Centering is something all of us can do. So I appreciate all of you who have joined us and who are watching this recording for listening to me talk for a little bit. What I would like to do for the next 5 or 10 minutes is actually take you through a centering practice, because talking about it doesn't really do justice to what the experience is. It really needs to be well experienced. It needs to be understood from a physical, visceral perspective. So for this practice, I encourage you to make yourself as comfortable as possible, to really take some nice deep breaths. You can have your eyes opened or closed for this. There's no wrong way to relax. Just allow yourself to relax. Take a few more nice deep breaths. Put your hand on your heart if you wish, sometimes both hands. And just feel your heartbeat. Just listen to your heartbeat. You can feel it beating in your chest. You can hear it if you listen closely. Just listen to your heartbeat as you breathe. Your heart has a lot of information for you. Is it beating fast? If it's beating fast, take some nice, deep breaths and ask your heart to relax. Also, in this space, I encourage you to think of some things that you are very grateful for, some things that bring you joy, people, animals, plants, anything at all that brings you joy can go in this space. Just take a few more deep breaths. Just let yourself float back a bit into this centered feeling. Now, if you like to visualize and imagine things, I encourage you to find a special place within a brilliant, green, thriving space where there's flowing water, living, growing things, and all the other things that you enjoy. Anything, the foods, anything at all, the smells, anything. There's no wrong element to bring in to this space. You can enjoy yourself here in this space that is free from everything but love. This is a place of pure, divine, unconditional love. This is the center that connects you to the universal source of divine, unconditional love. Take some nice deep breaths in and smell the air in that place. So fresh, so sweet. You might smell some things that make you happy, some foods or some fragrances or incense, flowers, anything. This can also just be an abstract place, a higher dimensional space. It can be anything that you choose, anything at all. The point is that you feel happy here. Take as much time as you need to bring those things in. And yes, you may find that certain things arise, thoughts and feelings, emotions, physical sensations, distractions, resistance. Those things are normal. And I want you to receive anything that arises with love, compassion, gratitude, because this is your mind, your subconscious mind, your body, your spirit communicating with you. You don't want to ignore or push away those messages. But if there's anything dense, heavy, just let it move through the space, passing through your mind like a cloud flowing through a clear blue sky, just passing through. Take some time to enjoy the space. This space is your heart center, your astral heart center that you create, you experience, you decorate. Like you would decorate your own bedroom, your own home. This is your home within. This is the place where you can connect with your deeper self, your higher self, your lower self, and also your guides. Because this heart center is the portal to higher dimensional awareness, what is also sometimes called fifth dimensional awareness, outside of time, outside of space. And here can connect with any being in the universe. And I encourage you to call in to you now any guides who are there to nurture, nourish, support, and love you. This could be ancestors, gods, goddesses, Buddha, Jesus, an animal, a pet that you once had, a fictional character. Could be anyone. A guide can be anything. The point is that it must be loving. That energy must be loving. If it's not, it doesn't belong here in this heart space. Take a moment to connect with any beings who come into this space. Take some time to allow them to enter your heart and receive them with gratitude. Receive them with joy. Receive them with love, because they've come to assist you and to help you, guide you, support you. You can feel them all around you. Just like when other people are in a room, if you can't see them, you can still feel them. You can feel your guides so present with you, feeling so supported, so nurtured, so connected. Take some time to receive the energies that come. And then I invite you to take a moment, just a moment, to connect with that quiet whisper in the back of your mind, that eternal self that we sometimes call higher self awareness. Your higher self has existed across time and space in many different forms, many different bodies. And your higher self is waiting there, rooted in at your heart center, waiting for this connection. Possibly your higher self has been waiting for a long time. It's time to allow yourself to have conversation, to ask your higher self for some guidance, to receive some inner knowledge or wisdom that will guide you along your path, that will assist you in moving towards the fulfillment and actualization of your deeper purpose. Higher self communicates in many different ways. You may hear, see a voice, or lights, or symbols, or patterns. You might get a flash, or a vision. You might get physical sensations. You might get different tingles and different chakra points. You may be aware of different energies moving around your body, within your body. You can choose. You can always choose how much communication to have in this space. And if you would like to have this space to yourself at any given time, you can do so. You can ask your guides and even your own higher self to step away for a moment and give your heart self, your heart mind, a moment to breathe, a moment of peace, because this is your heart center. It's like your bedroom. And even if you have invited in your ancestors and guides to that place, you can ask them to lead lovingly, compassionately, so that you can recharge, so you can process, so you can allow yourself to rest and recharge. If you can do this for just 1 minute each day, just visioning, imagining yourself in this space, some version of it, or even just putting your hand on your heart, taking 3 or 4 deep breaths, and thinking about some things that you are grateful for. That's it. That is centering. It's simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. And with time, practice, commitment, like anything else, you can center very easily, no matter what your external conditions might be. And if you can do that, then you can move through any area of your life with grace, ease, finesse, feeling a sense of inner peace, calm, and purposefulness, because that is the place where you go to connect with your higher self and your guides. It's that place where you go within to rest. So just take a moment now to rest to your center, allowing that feeling of peace and calm to wash over you, thanking your heart for nourishing you and supporting you in these ways. And your heart will acknowledge these thanks with a tingling wave of energy release those feel-good chemicals all throughout your body as a reward for taking just a moment to connect your deeper center. So understand you have the power to come back here anytime. And this is the portal that will take you into deeper knowing. This heart portal will also facilitate deeper, more meaningful connections with others. So if you're feeling very relaxed, if you've gone through this experience, take a deep breath, open your eyes, look around, stretch a bit, roll your shoulders. And I'd like to thank those of you who have stayed with us for watching and for experiencing and exploring. If you'd like to learn more about what we do with these practices, you can follow up over the next few sessions. We'll be going through another 17 sessions here over the next 17 days. We also will be beginning an entire intensive workshop series for 9 weeks starting on January 15th. So we invite you to join us for that. Reach out if you would like to participate in that. And for those of you who have taken some time to experience and explore with us, I would like to, as I usually do at the end of these lessons, offer what I call a tonal light language attunement. And this is me channeling essentially some tones, some language that will help you tune into your heart center a bit more. So I invite you to sit back and just receive. One he aru one he one he one he ahi wandrawa ushan we daru wandre ashare wandra ushan guru ahi chandrau awe shera wan huna we wandra wa she amwinu hai nurawan she aru nai wandra wa Hare Anjara wa shehe naru chandre shehe naru vanshura wahi Hare vanshera 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 He vandere Hare vandare Hara Wandare, Hara Wandare, Hara Wandare, Hara Wandare, Hara Wandare, Hara Wandare, Nawe Sharandare, Sharandare, Sharawandare, Awandare, Na Sharandare, Arandare. So I do that because when I go into my heart center, my ancestors say this is what those of you who are drawn to watching me need to receive. So you can receive that however you would like to. I encourage you to connect with your own hearts and your own guides to decide if you want to receive that attunement. And finally, before I disconnect, I'd like to offer any of you who have watched this far, who are still watching, a free 20-minute session with me where we can talk, or I can do a reading, or I can guide you through some of these practices. Anyone who is watching is entitled to this. So reach out and let us know if you would like that. We'll get that set up. So again, this is all adapted from the lessons we teach in our Akashic Trancework Initiation e-course that will be starting on January 15th. So if you would like to explore with us for 9 weeks, really diving into these practices, let us know. We can set up payments. We can work it out. We'd love to have you on board. So reach out anytime. Deepest blessings until tomorrow.